What's up, Glue Dots? I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter. Tonight's project is a very elegant, very nice gift item that you could give if you want to, but you might want to keep it for yourself because you'll probably love it. A little mirror and a little earring holder that coordinate, that can go up on the wall either in your bedroom, your bathroom, wherever, your closet, wherever it is that you get ready. I have to tell you guys really quick because this is just funny. I was at, where did I go? I think I was actually at the Dollar Tree, and I chuckled because look what they had. I have not seen these there before. And since I call you guys my glue dots because we stick together, I had to show you that. But anyway, moving right along, have that great craft for you. I think you're really going to like it. And I would love if you stick around a while, hit the subscribe button and also the bell next to it so that you can be informed anytime I upload a new video. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. I really didn't think I was going to be on camera and realized that you could see me in the mirror, but sorry about the fantastic hair. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is take our little mirror here, take it apart, and we're going to be spray painting this silver. Just it pops off from the back. Be a little bit careful, but you don't have to be super careful. It just pops right out. So you can save the backing here from this because we're going to put the mirror aside because that's what's for our other project. So we're going to put this aside and we're going to be using this cardboard backing and your trash can. So with the trash can, you're going to try and use a pair of scissors to cut this that are not a really good expensive pair. Probably get a Dollar Tree pair of scissors so that you don't destroy your scissors cutting this mesh. I'm going to use the garden shears because I just feel like I don't know, they're just a little easier to work with sometimes. So over here at the bottom, just start cutting. And we're going to completely be removing the base and the top from the rest of the garbage can. Do the same with the top. The last thing we're going to do with this is just find a spot and cut. What we're trying to do here is open this up so we can have one flat sheet of mesh like that. Now I was looking for this darn seam so I could cut on there and I couldn't find it, but oh well, I found it now. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to lay this flat. And take your cardboard piece because we're going to use this as a template for the piece that we're going to cut out of this mesh. Now I would suggest using a Sharpie or something and trace around here so you can get your line, and then we're going to be cutting that out. Here we have our circle. So the piece that I spray painted should be dry by now. I'm going to go grab that and I'll be right back. We're going to be putting this mesh piece into the back side of this, and I'm just going to throw a little something down to protect this a bit because I don't want the paint to get all scratched up. So there are the tabs that are on here still from where the mirror came out. You can push this in, push it underneath the tabs. Just squeeze this all in there. That's how it looks from the front. And we're going to actually be putting some glue around to secure this in place here. So we're going to now take our glue gun and on the inner part of the circle, we're going to glue this whole thing down. I guess not directly on because you don't want it to show from the front side, but on the inner side of the inner circle, if that makes sense to you. Try and hold this kind of down while you glue so that it stays in place and doesn't pop back up as you're turning and going around. And make sure that the wires are actually glued to the plastic. Now we're going to be taking our Mardi Gras bead necklaces. Take one necklace and we're going to be gluing that around this outer edge. Now it's not necessarily only for decorative purposes. It is because we want this to stand away from the wall when you want to be able to put your earrings and things hanging in here. If it's too close to the wall, you won't be able to put them through. So we want this to stand out from the wall, and this is the way that I figured out to be probably the easiest and the best way. So starting around your edge, go ahead and get this glued on. And we'll be gluing that all the way around this edge. Try and be a little bit careful with your glue because you don't want that to goop out all over the sides and show. Now that we're finished gluing that on, I'm gonna flip this over and we're gonna be putting our little flowers that we're gonna be making on to decorate this so that it will coordinate with the mirror. And to make the flowers, we're just going to take these little cocktail spoons, I guess they would be, or whatever they are, mini spoons, and you're going to just break them apart. We'll take our spoon and on the underneath side of it, put some glue around that bottom edge and attach it in place and hold it until it kind of cools off there for a second so that it doesn't fall forward. Do the same with your other spoon pieces. So 3 spoon pieces will be glued face down, and then 2 spoon pieces will be glued facing up to form the upper petals of the flower. At this point, you're going to take either your flower or your gemstone, whichever one you decide to use. Put some glue on the back side of it. And glue it right down to finish off the flower. Now you can add as much or as little embellishment to your jewelry holder as you want. I am going to probably add one more here to the bottom side, just again so it somewhat coordinates with my mirror. But that's entirely up to you and your style and your creativity. So I actually added on 2 more pieces to my upper flower so that it would show as a top and a little bit to kind of distinguish the top from the bottom of our jewelry hanger. So the last thing we're going to do is put the ribbon that you want to hang this with. Now I'm going to give you some options here, so whatever you have on hand or whatever you decide you want to use. So this is the handle of this bag. You just pop it through those holes. It has these little ends on. You can use those and glue those down as your hanger. Another option, if you just have some ribbon, I happen to have this ribbon that I had gotten on sale. Another option, if you, since you will already have these for this project, would be to use some of the Mardi Gras beads, and you cut a piece off and glue that to use as your hanger. Or the final option would be if you have some bling wrap that you would like to cut a strand of and use that to hang it with. So whatever works for you, as I said, whatever you may have on hand. So flip it over. Oh, I want to also angle it inward so that it looks nicer the way it's hanging. And we're done with that. And let's now work on our cute coordinating mirror. So for the mirror, I know you guys are seeing me upside down, but this is so weird. I keep forgetting this mirror is here. For this mirror part, what we're going to do, we're going to be taking our Mardi Gras beads and we're going to be gluing those around this outer edge. Now when you get your Mardi Gras beads, try and find the spot that they are actually attached at and cut that off, because you don't want that to end up ruining the nice evenness of the edge around your mirror. So go ahead and cut it off at that point. Get rid of that little piece. And then we're going to be using our E6000 or Fix-All glue to glue this around the surface edge of the mirror. Now go easy with the glue around this edge because you don't want this to really show. You kind of want it to be hidden underneath the beads. I have a big glue booger on here that I've got to get off here. It's making me crazy. Okay, so go around and put it as close to that edge as you can and try not to get too much on there. Sometimes it's easier to use the E6000 that has the crafting tip sort of, or the, I don't know what it's called, the tip on it, as opposed to sort of that bigger hole, but this is what we've got. This is what we're using right now. Okay, so we've got the glue all the way around the edge, and now we're just going to place our beads. If you want to use a little bit of glue gun to help hold those in place, that would be probably a good idea. So just go around carefully dropping these into place. Oh my goodness. So funny that you can see me. So now while we're letting this dry, we're going to go ahead and make our flower embellishments to put around on the top and on the bottom, just like we did for our earring holder. So we're going to be needing 15 of these little spoon tops. We're going to be taking one of our stickers from here, and then I usually just like to stick it on the outside of the package so that I can work with it a little easier. So what you're going to be doing is taking your spoon and putting some glue. Now on the bottom ones, for this one, you can put a fair amount of glue. They're going to be going upside down on your sticker. You're going to go all the way around till you make a flower. So now that we have the base part of our flower done, it looks something like that. They're all face down. We're going to be attaching the upper petals, and they're going to be going in between the petals that are face down. Now for this, you don't want to put too much glue, just lightly scrape some on the back. I know it looks like I'm putting a lot, but it's very lightly scraping it on the back. And then you'll be attaching that right onto the top in between the other petals. They'll have a little bit of an upward, like a flower would. And go all the way around, attach all 5. And we'll finish it off with our center embellishment. Now to finish it off, what I did is I have this, which you can also, as I've said, use one of the regular gemstones and put it in the middle. But for consistency, to go with the other ones, I'm going to be using this. I cut one of the flowers off of that strip. I'm going to be putting a little glue around the outer edge of it. It's really not necessary for the middle part of it to have glue. And we will drop it in there. And the flower is all done. So we have our one full flower. For the half flower that we're going to be making for the bottom side of the mirror, we're going to take our sticker and cut it in half. We only want to use half of it. Save the other half for the next flower, some other project. This flower we're going to make the same way. We're going to be gluing 3 of these face down and then 2 of them facing upwards. So now we have our 2 little flowers done. We're going to be adding them on. This has had a little bit of time to dry. So we're going to be adding our flower on, so when you look at the flower, you have the 2 bottom points and the 1 top point. So we're going to be putting a little bit of glue on the bottom points and then a little bit of glue here in the middle of our sticker, and that's what's going to be sticking to the beads, and the 2 points will be sticking to the mirror. So I would suggest probably using your E6000 for the 2 little points that'll be gluing to the mirror, and then the part that's going to be gluing the sticker to the beads we'll probably use our hot glue gun for, just to get everything to stick. Now for the bottom flower, the nice thing is that the sticker actually will be going, the curve of the sticker is going to be following the curve of the beads. So it's going to go right on top of that, right above it I should say, and on top of it. And we're going to put glue on that with our glue gun and then attach it on. I think I might put a tad bit of E6000, which I should have done first. Got to do it fast before the glue hardens. And put it in place and hold it down for a moment until that hot glue solidifies. And the last thing will be to attach our ribbon. Now again, you have the option of using some of your Mardi Gras beads, some ribbon, or the top handle part of a gift bag that you just pull the ribbon out of that. So for the sake of coordinating the two, I decided to just go with the same ribbon. I would probably go with the same thing on both, just so that they do coordinate together a little nicer. Unless you're going to give them to 2 different people, then that's fine, or if you're going to use them in 2 different places. So this is the finished product. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you with the other one and put it up so you can see it how it looks.